Good evening and welcome to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes junior high softball team are taking on the AmPo Cassett Panthers. And it looks like we're gonna be in the top of the third inning. First up to bat here for the Leopardettes is the sixth hole hitter Rains. First pitch called ball. Next pitch in the air. It's going to be popped up over deep left field. It's going to be snagged up or out number one. And that'll bring up number 7, King, to bat for the Leopardettes. First pitch away. Going to be called ball. Next pitch in the air. It's going to be popped up over to left field. Left fielder able to snag that one out of the air. That'll be out number 2 for the Leopardettes here. Again, top of the third inning. Score 15-5. Panthers on top. First pitch, line drive over to the pitcher, who's going to safely get that ball over to first. That'll be out number 3, and that was Slater, the 8-hole hitter. And with that, that'll be out number 3 for the Leopardettes. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardette softball right here on the Leopardette Sports Network.
You're live.
Yeah, good evening and welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are set to square off here. We're just minutes away from the Leopardettes taking on the Amber Pocasset Panthers here. Leopardettes looking to bounce back from a loss last week over in Minco. I am your host today, not Jake Rutledge, along with RJ Brooks. And while we await the teams to take the field, we'll talk a little bit about the Leopardettes lineup here. The first hole hitter is going to be Bearden, followed up by Broussard, Cruz, Taylor, Lily Dotson, McGowan, Webb, Brown, Klein, and Anderson. And junior high team not having much luck here as they fell. I believe it was 15-6. Were run ruled early, so hopefully our Leopardettes high school team will have a little bit better luck as they're out there practicing. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back at game time. And welcome back here to AmPo Cast, where your Leopardettes are taking on the Panthers here. And we're getting ready to get this thing fired off. Coach Allison out there taking direction from the ump. And we've got our one hole hitter, Bearden, patiently waiting her turn at the plate. And it looks like Coach Dodd's going to take his place over there on first as the Panthers warm up. Again, the junior high team not having much luck here in Amber today as they lost their game 15-6. Panthers taking a little time to get warmed up, and if you'll notice the flag there in the background is the wind here today is definitely favorable for some home runs, so be expecting that. If you have some of your favorite Leopardettes that you're expecting a homer from, today is a good day for that. The wind is in our favor directly to the batter's back, and you can see by the evidence of the flag there waving. Bearden's going to step up into the batter's box as we get this game away. Coach Allison took her place over on third base. First pitch away, called ball. Next pitch in the air. Be ball 2. Bearden patiently waiting on the next pitch. Pitch in the air. Called strike. 2-1 the count now. As Chloe Broussard waits her turn to bat. Pitch away. Swing out. Going to be a line drive to the pitcher, who's going to make it routine for out number 1. That'll bring up your 2-hole hitter, Chloe Broussard. As Bearden thrown out there at first. Pitch in the air. Called strike. Next pitch on the way, in the air, swung at. It's going to be a line drive down to second. The second baseman unable to get a handle on that ball, and that's going to put Broussard out there on first, and that'll bring up your 3-hole hitter, Cruz. And Kaylin Taylor will be following her. Pitch in the air. Outside, called ball. Looked a little low and outside. That's next pitch in the air. Called strike. 1-1 the count. This particular pitcher, it looks like if she's going to throw it out, it's going to be low and a little bit outside. And that's actually going to be called strike, so that'll bring the count to 1-2 for Cruz. Again, Broussard out there on first, second, third empty. Pitch in the air. It's going to be swung out. It's going to be a line drive over to the third baseman, who's going to get the ball to second for out number 2. Was not able to throw Cruz out there at first, so that's going to put Cruz on first and bring up Kaylin Taylor, your 4-hole hitter. Second and third base empty. First pitch in the air on the way. Going to be a little outside and low for ball 1. Next pitch on the way. Swung at. And folks, that ball just entered the stratosphere for a brief moment, then dropped down beyond the fence for a Kaylin Taylor home run. And that's going to put 2 points on the board as Cruz made her way around to put the Leopardettes on top, 2-0. And that brings up your number 5-hole hitter, Lily Dotson, also Golden Glove wearer. First pitch away, in the air. Little high, called ball. 1-0 the count. Next pitch away. Called strike, 1-1 the count for Lily Dotson. Lily, your 5-hole hitter. Base is clean as Kaylin Taylor cleaned them out. Next pitch in the air on the way. Little outside, called ball. 2-1 the count. Maddie McGowan patiently waiting. Pitch away. Swung at and missed. And that'll be strike number 2 for Lily Dotson. 2-2 the count. Pitch away in the air. Swung at. Hanging in the air. Hits the stratosphere. Lands beyond the fence. That'll be a home run for Lily Dotson as the Leopardettes line up to greet her at home plate. And that'll also put the Leopardettes on top, 3-0. Leopardettes with a little celebration there. And that's going to bring up Maddie McGowan, folks. If you like home runs, just sit back and relax. They're gonna. I've got a feeling they're gonna keep them coming for us. As I mentioned earlier, the wind is in the Leopardettes' favor. So, first pitch called ball. Next pitch in the air. It's going to be outside, called ball. 2-0 the count. Next pitch on the way. Swung at. Line drive over to third. Third baseman makes it look easy for out number 3. Folks, that's going to close out the top of the first inning. Leopardettes on top, 3-0. Stay tuned. You're watching Leopardette Softball right here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the AmPo Panthers. Here we're going to enter the bottom of the first inning. Leopardettes on top, 3-0, as Kaylin Taylor and Lily Dotson were able to each register home runs, 1 home run apiece, and trying to remember who else was on base out there. I believe that was Cruz. So that's going to bring up, with that being said, that's going to bring up the one-hole hitter for Amber. That'll be Muncie, first pitch away. Inside, called ball. 1-0 the count. Next pitch on the way. Called strike. 1-1 the count. Next pitch in the air on the way. Swung at over deep left, and it's over the fence, and that'll give Amber their first at-bat, first home run, first score of the game. Again, that was their one-hole hitter, Muncie. Panthers team there at home to greet Muncie. When pitching duties for the Leopardettes is Anderson. Lily Dotson on third. Kaylin Taylor at short. First pitch on the way. Called ball. Webb out there on second, and Maddie McGowan on first. Pulling catching duties for the Leopardettes is Brown. First pitch on the way. It's going to be inside, called ball. Next pitch on the way. Called ball. Beard and Broussard, Cruz and Klein are going to make up your outfield today for the Leopardettes. Pitch on the way. Inside, called ball. That'll be ball 4. That's going to send the runner over to first. It'll bring up your 3-hole batter, Keeling, for the Panthers. Your 2-hole batter there was Malone. And Malone now over on first. First pitch away, called strike. 1 the count for Keeling. Next pitch in the air. It's going to be popped up over to center. Broussard not going to have it. That'll be out number 1 of this first inning for the Panthers. Folks, that's just not a place you want to go. If it's anywhere near Chloe Broussard, go ahead and count it out. And that'll bring up your 4-hole hitter, Knapp, for the Panthers. First pitch away in the air. Called ball. Next pitch in the air. Can be called strike. 1-1 now the count. Next pitch. Ball's going to be popped up to center. And Leopardettes unable to come up with it. Cruz is going to get it over to third, where Lily Dotson and Brown are going to hold up the runner. So that's going to put runners on second and third there. Looks like there was a bit of confusion in the outfield as Taylor and Broussard were both going for the ball. And next pitch is away. Inside, called ball. Next pitch in the air. Called ball. 2-0 now the count. Next pitch up. Inside. That'll be ball number 3. for your 5-hole hitter, Teal. Next pitch in the air. Called ball. That'll send Teal over to first, and that's going to load the bases. And bring up your 6-hole hitter, Scott, for the Panthers. Pitch up in the air away. Called ball. Next pitch on the way. Called ball. Pitch in the air. Inside. That's going to be ball number 3. 3-0 the count. Next pitch away. And that'll be ball number 4. That's going to send the runner to first, and it put a point on the board for the Panthers. That's going to bring the Panthers within 1 as the score is now 3-2. Bases are loaded. There's only 1 out. Wind is shifting back into the batter's favor. Pitch in the air on the way. Called ball. 1-0 the count. Next pitch away. Called ball. Pitch in the air. Called strike. 2-1 now the count. Ball's going to be popped up. And Kaylin Taylor's going to snag it up for the forced out there at second. And she's going to get it over to McGowan at first. That's going to be for out number 2. And correction on that. Taylor and McGowan were unable to connect in time, so that's just going to be out number 2. Forced out there on second. First pitch away. Called ball for the 8-hole hitter, number 17, Carpenter. Pitch in the air. Called strike. 2-1 the count. Next pitch away. It's going to be outside. Bringing the count to 3-1. Runners in the corners. Second empty with 2 outs. Leopardettes desperately need an out here to keep them. And Webb unable to grab the ball. Runners still moving from first to second and second to third. As the Panthers able to score there, grabbing a hold of the lead 4-3. That'll bring up your nine-hole hitter there, number 8, Jones. First pitch called ball. Second pitch called ball. Again, runners there on. And I correction, first pitch called strike. 1-1 the count. Make that 1-2 the count. Next pitch in the air. Looked to be a little inside there. That'll bring the count to 2-2. Next pitch behind Jones. Full count. Next pitch in the air. Called ball. It's going to put Jones out there on first. That's going to load the bases for the Panthers. And it brings up the one-hole hitter Muncy for the Panthers. Going to line drive it over to the Anderson, who's unable to connect with the ball. Unable to get it to McGowan. McGowan is going to get it into Brown, the catcher, but not before the Panthers put another 3 points on the board. That's going to bring the score with the Panthers on top, 7-3. And looks like Coach Allison is going to make a pitching change. Yeah, looks like they brought out Malacote to work on pitching duties. For the Leopardettes. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardettes softball here on the Leopardette Sports Network. And welcome back here once again to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the Panthers of Amber Pocasset. Leopardettes make a pitching change and bring in Malacote. The first pitch is going to be over the fence. Again, that's number 7, Muncy, and I do believe Muncy's first at-bat was a homer as well. That's going to raise the score. Panthers 8, Leopardettes 3. It's going to clear the bases. Panthers with 2 outs. And I need to make a correction on that score. It's actually 9-3. First pitch away for the 2-hole hitter Malone. Next pitch in the air. Swung at. Hit deep center field, and that one's going to be over as well for number 9, Malone, the 2-hole hitter. It's going to elevate the Panthers score to 10, make that a 10-3 ball game. Panthers greeting Malone there at home base. And that'll bring up the 3-hole hitter, Keeling, for the Panthers. I'm not sure what's going on. The officials looking for a ball. And looks like we're going to get this game back underway. Again, up to bat, your number 3-hole hitter, Keeling. Score 10-3. Panthers on top. Malakote pulling pitching duties. Ball's going to be a blooper over to Kalen Taylor there, the shortstop. Makes it look easy. Gets it over to Matty McGowan at first for out number 3. That's going to close out the first inning. Panthers on top, 10-3. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardette softball right here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Good evening and welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the Lady Panthers of Amber Pocasset here. Lady Panthers on top, 10-3 with your 7-hole hitter Webb up to bat for the Leopardettes. First pitch, called ball. 1-0 the count for Webb. Webb looking to knock it over the fence. Next pitch is away. It's going to be knocked over to the second baseman. He's going to make the play out there. Put Webb out at first. And that'll bring up your 8-hole hitter, Brown, for the Leopardettes. First pitch away for Brown. Going to be inside. Called ball. 1-0 the count. With Klein waiting her turn to bat. Next pitch on the way. Deep outside, called ball. 2-0 the count. With 1 out. Bases look like ghost towns. Next pitch in the air. For ball number 3. Brown showing patience, waiting for the right pitch. Next pitch in the air. Called strike. 3-1 now the count. Pitch on the way. Swung at. It's going to be popped up over to left field. And it's going to be caught for out number 2, and that'll bring Klein up to bat for the Leopardettes. Nice high ball, deep left field, just not quite deep enough. Next pitch on the way. Swung at. It's going to be popped up to center field. All kinds of Lady Panthers on top of that thing, and that'll be out number 3. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardette softball here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the Amber Pocasset Lady Panthers. I was corrected on that. We're going to enter the bottom of the second inning. Lady Panthers on top, 10-3. First to bat for the Lady Panthers, their 4-hole hitter, Knapp. First pitch going to be called ball. Again, their 4-hole hitter, Knapp, up to bat for the Lady Panthers. Next pitch in the air, on the way. Called strike. 1-1 now the count. Malicote pulling pitching duties for the Leopardettes. Next pitch away. Called strike. 1-2 the count. Next pitch in the air, swung at into deep left field as Cruz able to advance the ball over to Webb. And they're going to hold the runner up there on first. That'll bring up the 5-hole hitter, number 10, Teal, for the Lady Panthers. Malicote's pitch in the air, on the way. Called ball. Next pitch in the air. It's going to be a line drive over to third. Dotson able to get it to Webb for the out on second. Webb is going to hold the ball there, hold the runner up on first. That'll be out number 1. That'll bring up the 6-hole hitter, Scott, for the Lady Panthers. First pitch called ball, a little inside. Next pitch in the air, again inside. 2-0 the count. Kill the lone runner out there on first. Next pitch swung at. It's going to be high center. Cruz makes it look easy for out number 2. And that'll bring up number 23, Winchester, to bat for the Lady Panthers. With 2 outs, next pitch away. Swung at. It's going to be popped up to center field. Cruz underneath it, unable to snag it up. Broussard able to get the ball over to Dotson, but not before the runners advance to second and third. First base empty. And that's going to bring up the 8-hole hitter, number 17, Carpenter. Number 6, Stewart, brought into the game. She's going to be pulling running duties out there on second. First pitch away. Called strike. 0-1 to count. Runners on second and third. First empty. 2 outs. Next pitch in the air. Little outside. That'll bring the count to 1-1. Next pitch away. In the air. Called ball. 2-1 now the count. Next pitch away. Going to be a line drive over to second. Webb makes it look easy, advances the ball over to McGowan at first for out number 3. Leopardettes hold up the Lady Panthers, who are unable to score here in this second inning, but it will close out the second inning. Lady Panthers on tops, 10-3. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardette softball right here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the Lady Panthers of AmPo. Here we're going to enter the top of the third inning. Lady Panthers on top, 10-3, and we've finally made it to the bottom of our lineup here. And the first batter up for the Leopardettes will be Malakote. Lady Panthers out there taking the opportunity to put in a little extra practice. And we're going to get this game back underway as Malakote steps up to the plate. First pitch in the air. Called strike. Next pitch underway. Deep outside, called ball. 1-1 now the count for Malakote. Next pitch in the air, on the way. Called strike. 1-2 the count as Bearden waits her turn. Ball in the air. Swung at. Going to be fouled out down the third base line. And that will be recorded as an out for Malakote. Out number 1 for the Leopardettes. For the inning, that's going to bring us back up to the top of our lineup as Bearden steps up to bat for the Leopardettes. Bearden not having much luck. First go round, thrown out at first. First pitch called ball. And first game of the season, same story for Bearden. Bearden was able to make it on base on her last at-bat, I believe, of the Minko game. Next pitch on the way. Called ball. 2-1 now the count. Next pitch in the air. Called strike. 2-2 the count now for Bearden. Pitch in the air. Called strike. So Bearden struck out. And that'll be out number 2 for the Leopardettes. It'll bring Chloe Broussard up to bat for the Leopardettes. Broussard's first time at bat. She was thrown out there at first. Next pitch in the air. Well hit ball over to deep to right field, but Lady Panthers able to snag it for out number 3. That'll close out the top of the first inning here. Lady Panthers on top, 10-3. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardette softball right here on the Leopardette Sports Network. And welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the Amber Pocasset Lady Panthers here. We're going to enter the bottom of the third inning. Lady Panthers on top, 10-3. Number 8. Correction. Trying to get this young lady's number here. Next pitch in the air is number 8. Oh, number 8, Jones, the 9-hole hitter up to bat for the Lady Panthers. 2-0 now the count. Next pitch in the air. Call ball. 3-0 the count. Next pitch away. Inside, ball 4. It's going to send Jones over to first. And bring up number 1, McComas, to bat for the Lady Panthers. Next pitch in the air. Called strike. Next pitch on the way. Called strike. 0-2 the count. Pitch on the way, in the air. Swung at. It's going to be a line drive over to Malicote, the pitcher who's able, unable to throw the runner out there at first. So that's going to leave runners on first and second and bring up number 7, Muncie, to bat for the Lady Panthers. And if you just tuned in, Muncie's 2 for 2 so far. 2 at-bats, 2 home runs. Pitch on the way. Line drive over to Kaylin Taylor, the shortstop, who's going to make the forced out there with Lily Dotson over on third. That'll be the first out of the inning for the Lady Panthers. And that's going to leave runners on first and second, but making it look easy there, Taylor and Dotson. First pitch called ball. Number 9, Malone, at bat for the Lady Panthers. Next pitch called ball. Malone's last at bat, she did knock it over the fence, so Malone, another young lady to watch out for here. Next pitch away. Called strike. Next pitch in the air. Swung at. Well-placed ball over there. It's going to be fielded by Broussard, but it fell just between the second baseman and Broussard. Webb out there at second base. It was just a well-placed ball. And that's going to load the bases and bring up number 2, Keeling, to bat for the Lady Panthers. Next pitch in the air, on the way. Called ball. Going to be a little high and inside. Next pitch on the way. Looked like a strike to me. The umpire agreed. That's going to be strike number 1. 2-1 now the count. Malicote doing a good job of just maintaining her composure and putting the ball where she needs to put it. Pitch away. Called ball, 3-1 the count. Correction, 2-1 the count. Next pitch away. Called strike. That'll bring the count to 2-2. Bases loaded. Next pitch in the air. Swung at. It's going to be a line drive over to Kaylin Taylor, who's going to get the forced out with Lily Dotson over there on third. That'll be out number 2. Lady Panthers able to score, bringing the score 11-3. It's going to bring number 12, Knapp, up to bat for the Lady Panthers. Runners out there on first and second. 2 outs. 1-0 the count. One now the count. That pitch called a strike. Ball in the air. Called strike. That'll be strike number 2 now. Malakote one more strike away from sending the Panthers back to their dugout. Holding the score 11-3. Pitch away. Swung out. Line drive over to Kaylin Taylor there at shortstop, who gets the ball over to Lily Dotson for out number 3. Panthers unable to score another point. And we're going to close out the third inning. Lady Panthers on top, 11-3. And we're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardette Softball here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the Amber Pocasset Panthers here. We're going to enter the top of the 4th inning. Lady Panthers on top, 11-3. First at bat for the Leopardettes will be number 8, Taylor. First pitch called ball. Next pitch in the air. Swung at. It's going to be fouled away between home and third. Waiting on their next pitch is Taylor. Ball in the air. Called ball. 2-1 the count. Next pitch away. Called strike. 2-2 now the count. Called strike. Taylor will be the second player of the game to strike out. And that'll give the Leopardettes 1 out for this 4th inning so far. And that'll bring up Kaylin Taylor, who at her first at-bat knocked the ball over the fence. Taylor this time places the ball just exactly where it needs to be there between the third baseman and the left fielder. Puts herself on first base, and that's going to bring up Lily Dotson, who also hit a home run her first at bat. Dotson able to, she's going to put the ball over to center field, and Dotson able to make it there to second safely, and Taylor puts herself on third. That was just a well-hit ball there to center, where exactly where no one else was. And that'll bring up McGowan to bat for the Leopardettes. Called strike. 1-1 the count for McGowan with one out. Webb waiting her turn to bat. Next pitch on the way inside and high. Called ball. Next pitch in the air. Swung at deep center field. And Taylor's going to score with Dotson putting herself out there on third and McGowan making it to first. We're going to leave second empty. We're going to put another point on the board for the Leopardettes. That's going to make the score 11-4. Webb's going to pop the ball up, and the second baseman was able to record the out there. It's going to be two outs for the Leopardettes. Lily Dotson able to cross home and put another point on the board. That's going to bring the score 11-5. And that'll bring up Brown to bat for the Leopardettes. Brown pops the ball up just over second base. Panthers unable to get the out, and that's going to put Brown on first and McGowan on second. And that'll bring up Klein to bat for the Leopardettes. First pitch called strike, 0-1 the count. Runners on first and second. Next pitch in the air on the way. Called strike, 0-2 now the count. Pitch in the air. It's going to be popped up over to right field. Panthers able to record the out there. That'll be out number 3. It's going to close out the top of the 4th inning for the Leopardettes. With the score 11-5, Lady Panthers on top. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. You're watching Leopardettes softball here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the AmPo cast at Lady Panthers here. Enter the bottom of the fourth inning. Lady Panthers on top, 11-5, with number 10, the 5-hole hitter Teal, up to bat for the Lady Panthers. First pitch called ball. Malacote pulling pitching duties for the Leopardettes. Teal waiting on the pitch. Pitches away. Line drive over to shortstop Taylor, who is able to record the out there with McGowan on first. Those two young ladies making it look easy. Leopardettes making a statement here in this bottom of the fourth. They're going to bring up number 5, Scott. Scott again pops the ball over to Taylor. Taylor, the shortstop, unable to connect with the ball. But Webb doing a good job of backing up Taylor there, and they're going to hold the runner up at first. That'll bring up number 7, Winchester, for the Lady Panthers. Correction, number 23, Winchester. And I do apologize. I was looking down to make a correction there. It looks like Winchester was counted out, so that'll be out. Is that out number 2? First pitch called ball. Number 17, Carpenter, up to bat for the Lady Panthers. Pitch away, in the air. Called strike, 1-1 to count. Next pitch away. Called strike. 1-2 now the count. Pitch in the air. Little outside, called ball. 2-2 the count. Ball popped up over to Taylor there, who's going to snag it out for out number 3. Leopardettes staying in the ball game here as we close out the fourth inning. Lady Panthers on top, 11-5. Stay tuned, folks. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching Leopardette softball here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are going to enter the top of the fifth inning, down 11-5. First at bat for the Leopardettes will be Malacote. Malacote grounder over to third. And it looks like she's going to be thrown out there at first, but it was definitely close there, folks. That'll be out number 1 for the Leopardettes. And it'll bring us back to the top top of the lineup with KK Bearden. KK Bearden's going to knock it just over the second baseman, puts it out there in no man's land. Broussard knocks the ball deep right field. Bats warming up here for the Leopardettes. And that's going to bring up Cruz to bat for the Leopardettes. First pitch on the way. Cruz knocks the ball deep left. It hits the stratosphere, comes back down to earth, falls over the fence, and that'll be home run number 1 for Cruz this year. And we're hoping to see more as the Leopardettes line up at home base and greet that young lady. That's going to bring the Leopardettes closer with a score of 11-7, and that'll bring up the ever so dangerous Kaylin Taylor. Taylor knocks the ball up in the air, hits the left field wall, and Taylor able to get to second. For the double, and that's going to bring up Lily Dotson. Again, bats red hot. Dotson already has registered 1 home run for the night. Will it be 2 or more? First pitch called ball. Taylor, lone runner out there on first. Corners empty. Only 1 out for the Leopardettes. Pitch on the way. Going to be a nice grounder over to the shortstop. Dotson on first, Taylor on second. Pitch on the way, called ball. McGowan up to bat for the Leopardettes. Pitch away. And I need to make a correction on that score. The score is 11-8, folks. Next pitch away. Line drive over to the shortstop. Able to register the out there. On second, Kaylin Taylor's going to cross home, put another point on the board. Again, Dotson thrown out there on second. Lots of action going on here. McGowan able to make it to first. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Webb to bat for the Leopardettes. Score now 11-9. Lady Panthers getting a little nervous as the Leopardettes threatening to take over this game with hot bats out there on the field. Panthers, after a short break, they're going to regroup and come back and see what they can make happen here. Webb, 7-hole hitter up to bat for the Leopardettes. First pitch, little high, called ball. 1-0 the count. Brown waiting her turn to bat. Next pitch on the way. It's going to be popped up to center. And just a well-played ball there by the shortstop for the Panthers, who makes the leap a couple, 2 or 3 feet in the air to snag the ball. That's going to close out the top of the 5th inning here. Score 11-9. Leopardettes coming alive. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardette softball here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber as the Leopardettes take on the Amber Pocats at Lady Panthers. We're going to open the bottom of the fifth inning. Lady Panthers barely hanging on to that lead. First pitch was away, called ball for number 8. The 9-hole hitter, and that'll be Jones for the Lady Panthers. Second pitch away, called ball, 2-0 the count. Next pitch away, swung at. Going to be a line drive over to Lily Dotson there at third, and I'll let you guys guess what happened there. That's going to be out number 1. Lily not going to let that ball get past her. And that brings up number 1, McCombs, and McCombs able to make it safely over to first. That'll bring up number 7, Muncie. And if you've been watching, Muncie's already hit a couple of homers. One out here in the bottom of this fifth inning so far. First pitch, called ball. 1-0 the count. Next pitch in the air. Called ball. 2-0 now the count. Pitch away in the air. It's going to be hit over the left field fence. And 2-run homer for Muncie. And that'll bring the score Lady Panthers 13. Leopardettes 9. As Brown and Malacote meet and get a game plan going here. Base is going to be empty. 1 out. Number 9, the 2-hole hitter Malone up to bat for the Lady Panthers. Malone, another young lady that's already recorded a home run. And the first pitch called ball, 1-0 the count. Next pitch away. Outside, called ball. 2-0 the count. Next pitch in the air on the way. Called strike. 2-1 the count. Next pitch in the air, swung at, popped up over to right field and over the fence. As Malone records a single homer. That'll put the Lady Panthers on top 14-9. And bring up number 2, Keeling, to bat for the Lady Panthers. Pitch away, in the air. Called strike, a 1 to count. Pitch away, inside, called ball. 2-0 the count. Next pitch in the air, on the way. Called strike, 2-1 the count for Keeling. Next pitch away, in the air. Keeling thinks about it for a little bit, lets it go by. The ump agrees and calls it a ball. That'll bring the count to 3-1. Oh, correction, 2-2. What? Now we have a full count. I missed a strike there somewhere, guys. Full count for Keeling. Pitches away, in the air. It's going to be a line drive. It's going to make it past Malicote, past second, all the way out to Chloe Broussard. And Keeling's going to put herself out there on first and bring up the 4-hole hitter, number 12, Knapp, to bat for the Lady Panthers. Pitch in the air, on the way. Line drive over to Taylor. There, the shortstop is going to force the out at second. Unable to connect with McGowan in time for the out there on first. And that will bring us number 17, Carpenter, up to bat for the Lady Panthers, with Winchester out there on first. Pitch in the air, on the way. Called ball. 2-0 the count. Next pitch in the air, on the way. Called ball. 3-0 now the count. Malicote pulling pitching duties for the Leopardettes. Pitch away. Called strike. 3-1 the count. Next pitch in the air, on the way. And it's going to be outside, ball number 4. That's going to send Carpenter over to first and bring up number 9, Jones. Correction, number 5. They've got me all kinds of mixed up. It's going to bring up Scott to bat for the Lady Panthers. And Scott thrown out there on first. We will in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Lady Panthers barely hanging on to that lead, 14-9. Leopardettes threatening to come back. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardettes softball here on the Leopardettes Sports Network. Welcome back here once again to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are taking on the AmPo Cassett Lady Panthers. We're into the top of the 6th inning. The Lady Panthers on top, 14-9. And first up to bat for the Leopardettes will be number 12, Brooklyn Brown. Brown waiting for the pitch. Pitch in the air. Called strike. 0-1 to count. Next pitch in the air. Swung at. Line drive just over second. Lady Panthers fumble the ball out there deep center field, and Brown able to make it to first, and that's going to bring up your number 9 hole hitter, number 2, Klein, to bat for the Leopardettes. First pitch called strike. 0-1 the count. Next pitch in the air, swung at. Going to be fouled away. Pitch in the air, inside, behind Klein. Next pitch in the air, on the way. Called ball. Again, Brown, the lone runner, out on first. Pitch away, in the air, swung at. Knocked over deep left field. Panthers able to record the out there. That's going to leave Brown at first and send Klein back to the dugout. And that's going to bring up Malicote. And Malicote's last trip, she was thrown out there at first. Malicote, line drive over to the shortstop, who's going to make the out there at second. But Malicote able to make it to first there. Leopardettes now left with 2 outs, and that's going to bring up first hole, 1 hole hitter, Bearden. Bearden line drive over to short. And the out, Malicote forced out there at second. That will end the top of the 6th inning. Lady Panthers on top, 14-9. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardettes softball here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are going to enter the bottom of the sixth inning here with the Lady Panthers on top, 14-9. First up to bat for the Lady Panthers, number 23, Winchester. First pitch called ball, 1-0 the count. Next pitch on the way, swung at, and Malicote able to throw the runner out there on a connection with McGowan at first. That'll be out number one for the Lady Panthers. And that'll bring up number 17, Carpenter, to bat for the Lady Panthers. Next pitch, called ball. Next pitch in the air, called ball. 3-0 now the count. Next pitch in the air on the way. Called strike. 3-1 the count. Next pitch on the way. Swung at, line drive over to McGowan at first, who records the second out. Leopardettes 1 out away from getting their shot at redemption and trying to take the lead here. And it's going to bring up number 8 to bat, Jones, the 9-hole hitter for the Lady Panthers. First pitch called ball. Next pitch in the air, called strike. 1-1 now the count. Next pitch in the air, called ball. 2-1 the count. Next pitch, outside. Ump's going to call it a strike. I'm going to agree with him. 2-2 now the count. Next pitch in the air, swung at, knocked shallow left field. Klein overthrows Webb there at second. Runner able to make it to third. She's rounding the bases, threatening to go home. And Brown's going to hold her up there. And a nice triple there for Jones on the error, the Leopardette's error. That's going to bring up number 1, McCombs, to bat for the Lady Panthers. First pitch in the air, called strike. 0-1 the count. Next pitch in the air, on the way. Swung at, line drive to the pitcher, who's going to make the forced out along with McGowan there at first. That's going to close out the 6th inning. Leopardettes threatening to take the lead. Stay tuned, folks. You're watching Leopardettes softball right here on the Leopardette Sports Network. Welcome back here to Amber, Oklahoma, where your Leopardettes are going to enter the top of the 7th inning, down 14-9. Bats hot. With first up to bat will be your number 2-hole hitter, Chloe Broussard for the Leopardettes. First pitch on the way, swung at. Line drive just past the second baseman into deep right field. Broussard able to make it to first safely, and that's going to bring up number 9, your 3-hole hitter, Baron Cruz, to bat for the Leopardettes. First pitch on the way, in the air, swung at, fouled away, over, lands on the Leopardettes dugout. Again, Cruz up to bat with Kaylin Taylor patiently waiting her turn. And then Lily Dotson back there licking her chops, ready to hit another homer. Next pitch in the air, on the way, swung at. Line drive to the shortstop, who's able to make the out there at second. Broussard will go back to the dugout. That'll be out number 1 for the Leopardettes. Cruz on first. Kaylin Taylor up to bat, pitch away. Taylor swings and connects. Third baseman able to snag that ball up and throw Taylor out there at first. Not before Cruz lands on second, and that's going to bring up Lily Dotson, your 5-hole hitter for the Leopardettes. Lily with the golden gloves, pitch in the air, inside, called ball 1. Maddie McGowan, another golden glover, waiting her turn to bat. Next pitch in the air and on the way outside. Ball 2. Corner's empty. Baron Cruz out there standing by herself at second. Pitch in the air on the way. Called ball 3. Next pitch in the air on the way. Lily didn't like the way that one looked, but the umpire did, and he called it a strike. 3-1 now the count with 2 outs. Lone runner Baron Cruz out on second. Pitch in the air on the way, swung at, popped deep center, hits the stratosphere, comes back down to earth, lands beyond the center field fence, and Lily Dotson is rounding the bases as the rest of the crew wait for her patiently at home. That'll be home run number 2 for Lily Dotson. And that'll bring the score Lady Panthers 14, Leopardettes 11, with Maddie McGowan up to bat for the Leopardettes with 2 outs. First pitch on the way. Umpire likes it, calls it a strike. I didn't like it so much, folks. I would have called it a ball. But, unfortunately, my opinion doesn't matter. Next pitch popped up. Hits the center field fence for McGowan. McGowan's going to make it over to first. She's going to bring up Jaden Webb now to bat for the Leopardettes. Webb facing 2 outs with McGowan, the lone runner, out on first. Second, third empty. First pitch away. Looked outside to me, but the ump calls it a strike, so I'm going to agree with him. 0-1 the count. Next pitch in the air on the way. Swung at. It's going to be popped up over to the third baseman who records the third out. And that will do it. That'll end the game, folks. Lady Panthers win this one 14-11, but Leopardettes showed resiliency. They kept fighting back. And, you know, if we had one more inning, they might have won this one, but unfortunately, we're going to have to record it as a loss. With that being said, tune in tomorrow evening. We'll have some Leopards baseball and some Leopardettes softball for you tomorrow afternoon. I'll be back with the Leopardettes softball team. RJ, Eric, and Randy will be with the baseball team, and I believe Lee McGowan's going to join me for the softball team. So, folks, it's going to be an entertaining evening tomorrow. That being said, everybody have a good evening.